Hi guys, Matthew from Moria Pilgrim here, and just doing a brief video in a slightly more cluttered garage. Simply, well, first because I'm doing a bit of tidying of the house, and second because I saw something on the Facebook forums that made me want to do this video. Someone once put up, why do pastors preach that the world's going to end soon, that Jesus is going to return so soon, only to invest in a big construction of a new church that could take over 30 years? Well, that's actually a very simple answer, but the best way to demonstrate it is with my tools, with my weapons. I've got two that should actually help demonstrate that principle very simply. Because the best way to put it is in terms of striking something. If you want to actually hit something with a good deal of force, you don't want to hit it, you want to go through it. There's a great line from a John Rebus story by, what's his name? Can't remember his name. He's a great author, a great Scottish author. He said that, there's a line that says that he was taught to punch through something, even if it was a concrete wall. And that's true in all things. Even some boxers say you don't want to punch someone, you want to punch through someone. So there's the object, you punch it. That's what I'm doing. Nothing. Got to punch through. See, my fist, my hand's moving in the way I'm soon to do that, and yeah, it hurts an awful lot more because I'm punching through it, not punching it. The same is true in swordsmanship. You may see cutting drills, people cutting at things. If you do a cut at something and stop right at the thing, it causes your arms to jar up, and really it's not going to hurt them at all. It's not going to cut in. You want to cut through, so you really throw the cut through. If anything, you want the force of the cut to come to its completion right in the middle, or even just past it. That way, what's left is simply the force left over, and that can be controlled with a follow through. I think the best way to describe it, though, is actually with wood cutting. And for that, naturally, we have to use an axe. My great axe is hidden in the back of all this. I don't really have time to dig that out. So, the short axe, Hoth, will have to do. As you can see, it's, well, I have a bit far forwards for that construction. But, as you can see, anyone will tell you that if you're trying to tree, preferably not your garage door opener, first time that happened, you know you need to actually swing as though you're going to go straight through it. If you try and hit the tree so the axe just digs in, fine. If you just try and tap the tree, nothing. You need to actually commit to the blow. And that's the thing. Commitment. Following through with the action. And that's something that's actually prevalent in all manner of things. Not just combat, and not just Christianity. There's another bit I'll get to in a moment. But also in parenting. Mayim Bialik, the actress and scientist who played Amy in The Big Bang Theory, she did a video on people abusing their children, hitting their children. And she said the trick is not to threaten to hit them, but to follow through with a punishment. So, her example is quite simply, if her child throws sand, she says, if you throw sand again, we're going to leave the park. What does the child do? Throw the sand, they leave the park. Yes, the child will be crying. Yes, it will look terrible. Yes, you may seem like a horrible parent. But the child knows you're going to follow through. They don't have to be threatened with something. You just need to tell them the consequences. I'm going to go into detail about that bit in another video, I think. But here's the thing. When people say that there are 100 steps to God, but when you take the first step, God will meet you at step 1. I don't think that actually appears in the Bible. I need to take a look, so I may do an addendum to this video, or just simply tack on to see if there's anything else. But yeah, I'll do my research and check, but I don't think that's in the Bible. I've just done my research, and this is indeed one of those things that people quote commonly, but isn't actually part of the Bible. It's not in any of the verses. The nearest thing to a 1:99 ratio is Jesus leaving the 99 saved sheep to go find the one lost one. But the commitment is important. I think the best example of this is actually in the Bible, one of the Gospels. Let me just double check. There's me actively searching during this time. Everything's in my way, so that's Peter walks on water. Yeah. So this is one of those that is what we're remembering. Peter had to put his faith in Jesus fully, and that showed him everything. The moment he started panicking, the moment he started wavering, he faltered. There's something actually in a psychological text. If you falter or start to worry even slightly, you fail. Confidence and commitment make things work. Can be hard, but as Terry Pratchett said in one of his books, every step is a first step, if it's a step in the right direction. So as it's not in the Bible, there's plenty of biblical connotation to it. But it's definitely a very Christian mindset. You need to commit to the full action. Like I said, you do your axe. You cut a tree. You don't want to have your axe stuck in there. You don't want to just tap the tree. You want to swing the axe as though it was going to pass straight through the tree. The moment you commit to that action, even if your axe doesn't go straight through the tree, if you swing in the tree like you're going to drive the axe through the tree and out the other side, that is when God knows you're committed. That's when you know you're committed to the cause. 100% commitment. You may say there was a fight like that in history, and there certainly was actually. Well, fighters, that being the berserkers of many barbarian tribes, famously the Vikings. You may say, well, they were mad. That was the whole point. In fact, their name was synonymous with being mad. Berserk. But that's why they use an axe. Even things like my great axe or the Dane axe that my mate has, they're not very good defending. So they would be all about the attack. You're fully committed to the attack. And here's the thing. If you're fully committed to an attack and not caring a single bit about defence, your opponent is actually going to struggle. Whilst I would never ever say, in debate, always go on the attack. No. Because that is just being aggressive, and you can easily call a cropper if someone actually knows what they're doing. It just shows, if you're solidly committed to something, success is a higher probability than if you're going halfway. To put it another way, I need to grab a different tool. I don't think this is what I'm using, because this is a simple knife that my master made. It's made out of an old set of loppers. Don't know where the other half went, probably in the bag trips to Cans Forge. But it's now basically a drop point bowie, nice chopper a decent edge on it last time, and I am using it to carve myself a star and maybe a little wooden cruciform dagger that I need to get around to. But this is a perfect demonstration, because anyone that knows knife fighting will know there are two ways to wield a knife. There's, well, there's many different ways, but we're going to do the simple ones using overhand techniques. There's the cutting method, which you can throw many cuts in quick succession, wild cuts as well, so they don't need to be accurate. It looks terrifying, but you can stay on balance. You can throw a few. If you want to really commit to a cut, you can do, and you're more likely to land. But cuts, well, there's a bit of debate about whether cuts or thrusts are going to be more effective. Cuts will leave deeper, wider wounds that could cut more things, could break bones, could shear through muscle and slice tendons. Thrusts will go into someone and possibly damage internal organs, cause deeper bleeding, and if you're lucky, pierce the heart. But thrusts require a lot more control, a lot more finesse, and a lot more commitment. You can't just go, here. No. You need to actually go for it. That was terrible lining on my part. My thrust would never land there. To get a lot better at my blade alignment. That. Cuts, like I said, throw a few. Even if you go slightly offline, you can still cause a bit of a ding, like that. Second time it's happened. Seriously, it doesn't happen often. But cuts, they can flow. Thrusts, you need to know what you're doing. This one might be a little bit better because it's got a bit of a curve to the hilt. Just wrapped it in purpose. It's a really simple handle, like that really. But this can be sort of chopping. The tip is simply used for gouging to wood. This one not landing dangerous thrusts. Well, it might do. That's the thing about knives. Any blade is dangerous if you know what you're doing with it. But that shows if you want to make something matter, something meaningful, why cut? Yes, you could slice an artery, you could slice big muscles, weaken an opponent, and potentially cause them more trouble. But if you want to end it quickly and cleanly, a thrust is more important. And you need to commit yourself properly to that thrust to make it meaningful at all. That needs practice and training. So, it may be a roundabout way of saying it, but when it comes to Christianity and comes to your relationship with God, you're all in or not. That's why some people preach the end of the world in a few years and then put a job, like building a new church, on a 30-year time scale. That is simply because we don't know how long it will be before the end of the world. We honestly don't. We might think it's soon, we might think it's later. We don't know. I'm not sure it has anything to do with the Christian timescale. I'm pretty sure it's more to do with global warming. I'll cover that in a video at some point. But just because we think something's going to end doesn't mean we can't put the effort in to make it matter. If anything, if you blast through it, it makes it look even more incredible. It's a bit like saying you know you don't need that much force to cut down a little tree that's clearly dying or rotting. But if you swing an axe hard enough and it blows straight through the tree, that looks darn cool. Think about what I think is in marriage. If you're not all in, why are you getting married? If you're not all in, why are you having children? That last one can be down to people being idiots. But you need to commit yourself to things, otherwise you're just not going to see them through. And if you can't see them through, why do you start in the first place? So remember that. Stay safe, and God be with you.